Hey everyone, and welcome back, or if you're new here, my name is Josh, and in today's video I'm going to be reviewing the United Explorer credit card. So I'll be going over the main features of this card, its pros as well as its cons. So hopefully by the end of this video you should have a much better idea of whether or not this card is a good fit for you. But before we go ahead and dive into the main content of today's video, if you wouldn't mind helping me out real quickly by just giving this video a like, that just helps out with the good old YouTube algorithm, and also consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already. Also, if you would like to receive a few free stocks in the description box below, as well as in a pinned comment, I will be leaving a few different links where you can receive just that. Okay, so diving right into the main features of the United Explorer credit card. First off, there are a few different ways in which you can earn miles on every single purchase with this card. So starting out, you can earn 2 miles per dollar spent on purchases from United, including tickets, economy plus, in-flight food, beverages, Wi-Fi, and other United charges. You can also earn 2 miles per dollar spent on dining, including eligible delivery services. In addition to that, you can also earn 2 miles per dollar spent on hotel accommodations when purchased directly with the hotel, so not through a third-party service like Expedia, Travelocity, etc. And then on all other transactions, you'll be earning 1 mile per dollar spent. Now, on top of that, as long as you're able to spend at least $3,000 within the first 3 months of your account opening, you will be earning a spend bonus of 60,000 miles. Now, 60,000 miles, if you want to equate that to a dollar value of how much you can get with United flights and things like that, usually for every mile that you have, it's going to be worth around 1.2 cents per mile. So in the case of 60,000 miles, they would be right around $720 in value. Now, in addition to that, you'll also be receiving some other benefits with this credit card. So on flights, you'll actually get your first check bag free for both you and a companion. So that's going to be a $35 value each way, which will be $70 round trip. And then when you add in your companion, that's going to be another $70 for round trips. So it's going to be around a $240 value. Now, on top of that, you're also going to be receiving some other benefits. So for example, you're going to be receiving up to a $100 statement credit for global entry, TSA PreCheck, or Nexus every 4 years. And then you're also going to be getting 25% back as a statement credit on purchases of food, beverages, and Wi-Fi on board during your United flights, as long as you pay with your Explorer card. You're also going to have access to priority boarding for you and your companions, as long as you're all on the same reservation. On top of that, you're also going to be receiving 2 United Club one-time passes after account opening, and then on each anniversary, which is basically a value of over $100. And there you'll be getting complimentary beverages, snacks, high-speed Wi-Fi, and a whole lot more. Now, on top of all of this, you're also going to be getting some travel and purchase protection benefits. So you'll be receiving auto rental collision damage waiver, and this coverage is primary. So as long as you decline the rental company's collision insurance and charge the entire rental cost to your card, you'll be covered for the actual cash value of the vehicle for theft and collision damage for most rental cars in the US and abroad. You're also going to be receiving trip delay reimbursement. So if your carrier is delayed more than 12 hours or requires overnight stay, you and your family are covered for reimbursed expenses such as meals and lodging up to $500 per ticket. You'll also be receiving trip cancellation / trip interruption insurance. So you'll be reimbursed up to $1,500 per person and up to $6,000 per trip for your prepaid non-refundable passenger fares if your trip is canceled or cut short due to sickness, severe weather, and other covered situations. Then on top of that, you'll also be receiving some purchase protection. So this covers new purchases for 120 days against damage or theft, up to $10,000 per claim and $50,000 per year. You'll also be receiving baggage delay insurance, which reimburses you for essential purchases like toiletries and clothing for baggage delays over 6 hours, up to $100 a day for 3 days, so $300 total. You'll also be receiving lost luggage reimbursement. So if you or an immediate family member check or carry on luggage that is damaged or lost by the carrier, you're going to be covered up to $3,000 per passenger. And then finally, you're also going to be receiving extended warranty protection, which basically extends the time period of the US manufacturer's warranty by an additional year on eligible warranties of 3 years or less. And then you're also going to be receiving some benefits with DoorDash. So for you DoorDash fans out there, you're going to be receiving a 1-year complimentary Dash Pass, which provides unlimited deliveries with $0 delivery fees and lower service fees on eligible orders. So those are the main features and benefits of this card. Now that we went over those, we're now going to go ahead and dive into the APR and fees, because of course this is super important as well. So diving right into the APR, starting out your APR is going to be anywhere between 21.49 to 28.49% based on your credit worthiness. This is for both purchases and balance transfers. Now with this card, there are also going to be some fees you might want to look out for as well. So if you do decide to make a balance transfer with this card, keep in mind there is no 0% intro APR offer with it, so there's not much of a point in doing so. But if you do happen to do it, there is going to be a fee of either $5 or 5% of the amount of each transfer, whichever happens to be greater. And then if you happen to do a cash advance, which on this channel we strongly recommend against doing, there is going to be a fee of either $10 or 5% of the amount of each transaction, whichever happens to be greater. Now, as far as the annual fee goes, starting out for the first year, there is not going to be an annual fee at all, which is super great. However, unfortunately, every year after the first year, so starting in the second year, there is going to be a fee of $95. Now, on top of that, there is also going to be a late payment fee and a return payment fee of up to $40. Now, if you happen to pay late for maybe the first or second time, you could always try calling in, asking if they will waive that fee for a one-time convenience, $. Now, if you happen to pay late for maybe the first or second time, you could always try calling in, asking if they will waive that fee for a one-time convenience. But I would definitely make sure just to pay on time so you're not having to pay all those fees. And finally, with this credit card, another great thing is there are no foreign transaction fees, so it is definitely a credit card that you can travel abroad with and use abroad and not be hit with any foreign transaction fees. So now that we went over the main features of this card as well as the APR and fees, I'm now going to go ahead and dive into what I would consider to be the biggest pros and cons of this credit card. So starting out with the pros of this card is, of course, the 60,000 bonus miles that you will be receiving, which is right around $720 in value, as long as you're able to spend at least $3,000 within the first 6 months of having this credit card. Now, on top of that, you're also going to be receiving your first free check bag for you and a companion, which is going to save up to $140 per round trip, $35 each way, and 2 people. And then you're also going to be receiving some other really great benefits with this card, such as the $100 statement credit for global entry, TSA PreCheck, and Nexus. So you're really getting a lot of really great benefits with this card. Now, as far as the drawbacks of this card go, starting out, of course, even though there is a $0 annual fee for the first year with this card, every year after that, there is going to be an annual fee of $95. So of course, that is the first drawback. And then secondly, the only other real drawback of this card is the fact that on all other purchases, not in the categories of buying at United, hotels, or dining, is pretty bad because you're only going to be earning 1 mile per dollar spent. So that is below average when you compare that to most other credit cards. But just to sum things up here, this is a card that I would definitely say is worth it at least for the first year alone. Every year after that, it may not be worth it for most people just because they're only going to be earning 1 mile per dollar spent in most categories, which really isn't all that good. But for the first year alone, it is pretty good. But every year after that, if you normally don't fly United, you're probably not going to be getting many miles for this credit card. So again, for the first year alone, this card is probably worth it. But every year after that, just because you have to pay that $95 annual fee, it may not be worth it for most people. But that's all we have for today's review. I certainly hope that you enjoyed and found value out of it. If you did, again, I would greatly appreciate if you could give this video a like. Consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already, and I will see you in the next video.